Hello and welcome to Lost Gaming and welcome to my Scarlet Keys campaign for Arkham Horror, the living card game. This is episode 5 and currently this is Future Mark talking to you because I know that I've just played the On Thin Ice scenario. But Mark, who you're about to go to, doesn't because he hasn't been through all the stuff in the campaign log. So without further ado, let's get across to past Mark to see how he's getting on with the campaign. Okay, thank you, future Mark, for the intro. This is Mark in the past now talking to you and the rest of the subscribers and people that are watching this. So we are now at episode 5, and we've just helped out the Claret Knight, and we now need to choose our destination. First things first, we need to have a look at our campaign log. Okay, 10 time have passed. Oops, sorry. I get to where my deck is. Ah, here we go. Should have 5 XP. Have 5 XP. There we go. Right, 5 XP unspent. So I am going to be putting. I'm taking out a runic axe. And I'm going to be putting in. Can I search here? Add cards. I want to put in time worn band. Oh. Going on it. Try that again. That's weird. Right, pausing. Okay, sorry about that. A little bit of jiggery pokery on Arkham cards. So, I've blown all 5 XP on one hand item. It's one-handed item relic melee weapon. For an action, if it's ready, I can fight. You get +2 fight and deal +1 damage. That's pretty good. +1 damage is good. +2 fight is good. But if I exhaust it, I can add my my will to the skill value for his attack, and the attack does +3 damage. And if I defeat an elite enemy, I draw 3 cards. What's not to like about that? It's 5 XP. But there we go. That's what I've done. So that is William done. So let's go back. Save changes. And then we can choose our destination. Now, it seemed to be that they were sort of mentioning Kathmandu. Claret Knight mentioned Aleki, Leki in Kathmandu. So we could use 2 time to go to Kathmandu. I think that's what we're going to do. So let's click on Kathmandu. Um, no, we're just going to go straight there, I think. We're not going to take the scenic route. Travel here without stopping. Take the scenic route to mark time. Right, okay. So locations in Kathmandu have reported seeing a spirit matching the description of another coterie agent. Why do you do that? So file 53V, subject class undetermined, real identity Upateria, Upatria, Upertria, Leaky, Uperetria. Last known location Kathmandu, Nepal. Description subject 53V, hereafter known as the maid with the scarlet slash. Thanks God for that. We'll just call her the maid. Appears as a teenage girl of unknown descent wearing a white dress and a red sash. Paradimensional capabilities are redacted. Sightings. Locals in the regions have reported seeing a spirit matching subject's description, heralded by a high pitched whistling sound. Unclear if redacted. Approach procedure. Subject risk class unconfirmed. Do not approach. Well, that's where we're going to go. So let's travel there. Kathmandu, whistles on the wind. Continue. Continue. The cell travels from Alexandria to Kathmandu. Mark 2 time in your campaign log. A chill breeze flutters through the streets of Kathmandu along with a faint shrill whine. To the north, the Himalayas loom over the city, only their peaks illuminated by the westward sun. Pinks and purples bathe the sky in vibrant beauty. You could stare at such a breathtaking sight forever, but you have a job to do. Despite the quiet, peaceful evening, that sharp piping does not cease, like an aching sense of dread in the back of your mind. As the evening drags on and the whistling grows louder, you realise you are the only one who can hear the strange sound. It feels as though it's reaching out to you directly, as if it hears you too, as if it knows you. On a whim, you close your eyes and strain yourself to listen closer. Difficult to tell exactly where the sound is coming from. It seems to waft all around you and echo throughout the streets. But it grows in volume as you round the nearest corner and head north, and so north you continue. Eventually, you reach an art gallery nestled between several aged old buildings. The whistling here is fevered and unpleasant, like a boiling kettle. Though the gallery is closed at this late hour, you're able to easily find an open side entrance. Oh, yeah, okay, William, just break in. You brace yourself and enter the gallery where dozens of Nepalese sculptures and paintings are on display, many carved out of wood or stone, others made of ashtadhotu, an amalgam of 8 different metals, and still others made of terracotta. The whistling suddenly stops the moment you reach the rearmost section of the gallery, where a single lot remains strangely empty. There's no trace of what might have been there, just an empty space where something historic and treasured is clearly meant to be. Then a lone voice pierces the sudden quiet, speaking in a language you do not understand. You turn on your heels, body tensing. On the other end of the hall, on the other end of the hall, okay, is a girl dressed in white, her figure seeming ethereal in the faint beams of fading sunlight that permeate throughout the building. Her long black hair is draped over her face, masking her expression. A long scarlet sash wrapped around her waist flutters behind her, despite the fact there is no breeze. You freeze. The figure of the girl does not move. Her hair and sash drift steadily in the stillness. Then she speaks once more. Again, you don't understand a single word of it, though you notice that she'd switched languages. Recognizing a few root words, you realize she is using Latin. She speaks to you again, this time in what sounds like ancient Greek. If she is trying to communicate with you, it may be wise to play along. You ask her what she's doing here, why she guided you here. Her response is in yet another language that eludes you. This one sounding something like a blend of Egyptian and Greek. I'm not a drifter. Due to the language barrier, it's difficult to get a sense of what she wants from you. As you attempt to decipher her intent, she approaches slowly, her steps making no sound whatsoever along the floor. She gestures to the empty lot next to you and whistles softly, as though the sound might carry with it some meaning. You wonder if perhaps there might have been something here, then realise it's gone, vanished from history without so much as a trace. You recall the woman's name from the Foundation's dossier and ask her if she is also on the trail of the entities responsible for these kinds of disappearances. Aliki Ipiteria does not seem to understand you, but she tilts her head in recognition at the sound of her own name. Then she wrenches something from around her neck and extends it to you in a closed fist. The lead investigator must decide to choose one. Accept what she's offering you. Do not accept her offer. I think William's going to take it. Whatever that is. You extend your hand and a small device on a silver chain falls into your palm. It is a whistle carved out of bone to look like the head and beak of a white raven. Glancing back up at Eliki, she points towards the plaque next to the empty lot and says something once more in what sounds to you like Latin. You ask what she is after and what significance of the whistle is, but she remains cryptically silent. Turning over the whistle in your hand, you find no markings or clues to its purpose. When you glance back up to question Aliki, she has vanished, replaced once more with a cold wind that seeps into your sin. Then, though no one else seems to hear it, the piping returns, soul-wrenching, ear-splitting. It does not cease for as long as the whistle remains in your possession. Okay. In your campaign log, record that the cell possesses a mysterious whistle. Each investigator suffers one mental or one physical trauma as the shrill sound follows them everywhere they go. You suffer one physical or one mental trauma. I think I'm going to role play this because physical trauma doesn't seem quite right. And I know William is lower on sanity, but it seems to me that if this shrill sound follows you everywhere you go, it wouldn't be physical trauma, it would be mental trauma. So that's probably daft of me, but I think that's the way to go. Remove one elder token from the chaos bag, add one elder sign. If there are already four, each investigator earns experience instead. Well, I'm not going to spend that experience, I'm going to save it. And then we're going to continue. Okay, we may embark. Okay, done. Where are we going to go from Kathmandu? Oh, we could head across to Tokyo and then flip across over to North America and start heading our way that way. Tokyo to Anchorage, maybe. Can we get there? Oh no, I think we've got to go to. I think we've got to go through San Francisco. Well, let's go to Shanghai. Shanghai sounds like a nice place. Travel there. The Coiled Serpent. Continue. Yeah. The cell travels from Kathmandu to Shanghai. Mark one time in your campaign log. You send a missive to Agent Flint ahead of your arrival, setting a meeting place and time. Yin Yang Temple at noon. Head there as soon as you arrive, entering the broad stone courtyard at the temple's entrance. After a short while, a tourist approaches and asks you in English, "Are you sure you're all alone?" It takes you a moment to realise that the tourist is none other than Flint in a subtle yet convincing disguise. He narrows his eyes at your stare. "Answer me," he says, scanning his surroundings. You assure him that you haven't been followed. Can't be too careful, eyes everywhere. I've had a lead on one of those coterie types here in Shanghai, just like the Foundation's intel suggested. They call her Subject 46Q, aka Lady with Red Parasol. Sure enough, she brings the parasol everywhere she goes. As far as the coterie insignias go, it's not the most subtle. While he whispers, he pulls a large camera and tripod from his duffel bag and painstakingly sets up a shot of the temple. You wonder aloud what in the world Flint is up to. "Stop staring," he hisses under his breath. Then you spot other tourists taking photos as well, and you realise that Flint is better at blending in than you are. The last time I saw the lady with the parasol, she was leaving a meeting between several wealthy British and Chinese businessmen, railwaymen, he says quietly, head still down. Women aren't usually allowed at such meetings, nor are regular citizens. To be in that room, you have to be able to get the attention of those powerful men, which means you're either very powerful or obscenely wealthy. Flint takes a few photos, then moves to a new spot and starts the tedious process of focusing the camera all over again. Within 2 weeks of that meeting, they announced a lucrative new contract. It seems all of their competitors were convinced for one reason or another to step away from the project, which left them to write their own ticket, name their own price. He slowly scans the courtyard again, careful to move just his eyes and not his head. Could be she has leverage on them, or maybe she's just that charming. But I'm willing to put my money on it being the influence of the key. If that's true, it's imperative that we are not made. Flint's paranoia is infectious. Check the campaign notes if the cell told the truth to Taylor, which we did. Look, I would tell you more, maybe even let you help me out, but you've made it pretty clear you're a bit chatty. And the last thing I need is the coterie figuring out what I'm onto them. So how about we split up? Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll contact you when I have a good lead. Without letting you protest, Flint packs up his camera and leaves. In your campaign log, record that Flint is working solo. Well, okay, fair enough, Flint. In your campaign log, find the sixth spot from the current time and write that on it. When you reach it, we'll get to it. If there is less than 6 time, remember, write it up in the final spot. Okay. Blimey, you may embark. Okay. Where are we going now? I think we head on the route we said we were going to do. Let's go to Tokyo. Asset name, Queena Taylor. Okay, that's not a lot. Let's go there. Special delivery. Continue. We are going to use William. The cell travels from Shanghai to Tokyo. Mark 1 time. Check the campaign notes if the cell is delivering Foundation intel. Soon after arriving in Tokyo, you wander the city's winding streets in the rain before sitting down at the food stall. Before you can order, a figure in a trench coat and wide brim hat sits down next to you and whispers in a phrase in a crisp British accent. 6 lions prowl at dusk. The phrase's significance dawns on you after a moment, and you hurriedly recite the callback Foundation taught you. Pride feasts in darkness. The person next to you lowers the wide brim of her coat and reveals herself as Commissioner Taylor. She orders ramen for both of you and looks away. Before you ask, this is not a coincidence, and no, I will not tell you how I knew you would be here. It's my job to know more than you. You tell her she seems as brusque as usual, and a faint smile tugs at the edge of her lips. Familiarity breeds liability, so let's keep this professional. Tell me what you've learned so far. You shoot a worried look at the crowd around you. Commissioner shakes her head. I saw to it that you weren't followed. Talk. Your eyes wander to the gun holstered to her belt, and you wonder what lengths she went to in the name of privacy. Digging into the steaming bowl of ramen, you recount your findings so far. The rain falls hard around you, mingling with the smell of grilled meat and the sweet spices. You spy a flash of red in the crowd. When you look, all you see is a reflection of on a blood red fan. The Commissioner snaps her fingers, and you continue. Once you finish your report, Taylor pays for the meal and stands. It sounds as though your efforts are, shall we say, adequate, says primly. However, the Foundation has a request. We need you to deliver a package to our sanctum in Lagos. Please see that it's delivered safely. She hands you a sheet of documents bound with cord. In your campaign log, record sellers delivering Foundation intel. Each investigator must add one copy of Foundation intel to their deck. It does not cause towards their deck size. These cards can be found in the globe dropping encounter set, and that is indicated by that. Save deck changes. Continue. Okay, status report beta. You receive a coded missive from Commissioner Taylor herself. Agents, not long ago, a massive explosion occurred near the. Oh my God, all the words in this thing. The Tunguska River in Siberia. Remember that? It's classified as an impact event, but that is just a cover story. Our intel now indicates coterie involvement. I have reason to believe this may be the site of one of their sanctums, perhaps even their primary safe house. You have clearance to investigate the site, but be prepared for anything. Add one cultist token to the chaos bag. In the Central Asia section of the campaign log, find Tunduster. In its spot, write 59Z. You are now allowed to travel to this location whenever you embark. Note, this will end the campaign. You may wish to proceed. You may wish to investigate further before proceeding to Tunduster. But be wary of how much time you spend. You may embark. Done. Okay, well, I think we're going to go. We're going to go to San Francisco. Let's head into North America, I think. One travel time. 26G2. Subject class green. Redacted San Francisco, California. Redacted Moscow, Russia. Sanctums 26G1 through G6 are foundation offices and storehouses for paradimensional artifacts. Do not disclose locations of sanctums with non-foundation personnel under penalty of quite a long thing. Approach procedure. Agent in charge of sanctum will meet you upon arrival. Entry instructions attached. Travel there. Quid pro quo. Continue. Cell travels from Tokyo to San Francisco. Mark one time in your campaign log. A set of obscure and overly complex instructions leads you to a drab two-story stone building on the edge of San Francisco's Chinatown neighborhood. Inside, a bored attendant slumps behind a desk near a brass elevator. Punching a specific code, the elevator takes you deep underground, farther than you could have predicted. On -14F, you step out and are greeted by an imposing man in a well-tailored suit and a black fedora. Archibald Hudson, we met in London, he reminds you. Your cell is quite the talk around the office. The agent leads you down a seemingly endless hallway lined with alcoves. Each alcove displays something different. A model of a hollow earth, a crystal skull, a map with ley lines, and other unknown markings. You pause and look at the half-eaten ear of a corn still steaming. From what I hear, the corn's been cooked to perfection for the last 2 decades. So the dame who was eating it, Agent Hudson says grimly. Looking at paradimensional relics gives you a headache. Your eyes struggle to focus on them. They're both there and not there at the same time. Hudson ushers you down a side hall into a boxy room crammed with metal filing cabinets and sits down around behind a heavy wooden desk. He speaks into a ring and spring microphone. File 26G2. Interview conducted by Hudson Archibald. Designation 4286951. That's Agent Hudson to you, he arches an eyebrow. Over the next several hours, you answer a gauntlet of grueling questions about your experience thus far, ranging from the past day to your experience in London. When it's all done, Agent Hudson leans back and lights a cigarette. I'll admit I was sceptical about you from the start, but Commissioner Taylor has good instincts, and I haven't seen them steer her wrong yet, he says. You've done good work so far. We have some intel and some resources that might be useful for me. Tell me what the Foundation can do for you. Like to get around faster. We'd like some supplies. We'd like some intel on subject 11B. Um, hmm. Let's go with intel on subject 11B. That sounds intriguing. Agent Hudson flips through some files and pulls out an updated dossier similar to the one in your possession, but much thicker. Subject 11B calls herself Amaranth. But this is not the first Amaranth the Foundation has encountered. She pops back up every few decades, looking completely different each time. The iteration bears a striking resemblance to a former student of a Miskatonic University in Massachusetts. Erin Cochrane was her name. She's been missing for some time. You wonder if you wonder aloud if it might be a coincidence. There are no coincidences on our line of work, he mutters. You may embark. Right. Continuing on our trip around the world. Where are we going to go now? Do I go up to Anchorage, then come down, or do I come down? I feel like I want to go to Alaska. Never been to Alaska, so let's go to Alaska. Territory of Alaska. Foundation has procured the journal of a prospector recently working in Anchorage, perhaps the site of a key. Class yellow, identity unknown. Subject 33K hereafter, Thorn. Tall, gaunt person with androgynous features and fair complexion. Wears practical, loose fitting clothing. Subject appears to be and conjectured to be far older than they appear. Collaborating source suggests date of birth in redacted. Subject wears a distinctive red cravat around their neck, often obscuring their face. Paradimensional capabilities. Subject possesses acute sensitivity. 2. Coteray leverages these capabilities to locate artifacts and travel and track movements of sightings. Numerous sightings across the globe, profiled as one of the most mobile KTA members. Despite notorious secrecy, Thorn has a reputation for appraising and acquiring blah. Analysis suggests that they are amenable to business exchange and receptive to haggling. Recent activity suggests Coteray is in the state of blah. You and Thorn are likely to have similar objectives. Extreme caution is suggested. Thorn is likely to negotiate, but only on their terms. Okay, do that then. Travel time 1. On thin ice. We're going to go with William. Blimey. The cell travels from San Francisco to Anchorage. Mark 1 time in your campaign log. You'd only just checked into your lodge in Anchorage when you receive an unmarked package. Agents. We have lost contact with several operatives in central Alaska in recent weeks, likely due to coterie activity. One operative was looking into a possible lead, a lens with apparent paradimensional capabilities. Enclosed is the journal of prospector Rhett Landry, currently institutionalized at Morningside Sanatorium in Oregon. If the lens is a key, acquire it at all costs. Q. Taylor. You spend a full day poring over the prospector's journal, which is mostly comprised of wildlife sketches and notes on mining. However, the final entry is chilling. October the 4th, 1923. Tonight I bury that accursed lens where I found it. I dared not commit my thoughts to the page after finding it. I have nothing to lose now. While surveying the new branch in the mine, I found a curious lens buried in the rock. It was opaque and emanated a beguiling light. Holding it made me feel special, as if I was if I'd been chosen. Looking through it, I saw incredible plants, creatures, people, structures, and a strange otherworldly landscape, a world beyond our own, a world that should not exist, a dark reflection of our own, a haven for lost objects, lost memories. The lens, the sable glass, is the mirror that shows the truth of this other world. How foolish was I to think I could use the lens for my own gain? The more I looked at the other world, the more the other world looked back. By peering into the glass, I must have called something, some awful, nameless creature through. More and more my fellow prospectors went missing in the woods and erased from memory. My companions, my possessions, my home, all were swallowed by the strange creature I glimpsed in the sable glass. And now, when I look through it, I can see them there in that other place. Creepy. The creature that stalks the woods is made of nothing, and yet is many things, constantly shifting, ever changing. It has the traits of many animals, like a chimera from old myths. I tried to hunt it using the sable glass, but looking at it made my head spin. After surveying the area, I set a trap. I thought I'd killed one of its forms, a great lupine thing that howled and dissipated into nothingness. But when I returned to camp the next day, it had struck the camp. My companions had vanished from memory and space. The authorities say I should be locked up. My only hope is to set things right, to put the sable glass back where I found it. Perhaps then everything will be right again. Next to the journal entry is an array of dark scratches, which you have assumed were nervous scribbles. However, giving Landry's account, you wonder if it was an attempt to sketch the creature. The next day, you launch a search for any record of Mr. Landry's gold mine, starting with prospecting permissions in Anchorage City Hall and the local library. After a few days of fruitless research, you still cannot find an official permit or record of a mine connected to Brett Landry. As you return to the lodge that evening, you spot a tall, willowy figure with a distinctive red cravat standing next to a packed sledge. Well met, the figure greets you with a self satisfied smile. You must be the troublemakers everyone is talking about. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm Thorn. They extend a confident hand to shake yours. If you're here, I can only assume it's for the same reason as I. Keep a weather eye out. It's supposed to be quite cold near Fairbanks. May the best one win. Thorn winks at you, then mounts his sled. You wonder if Thorn's reference to Fairbanks was clever misdirection or a friendly hint. After asking around the lodge, an attendant opens up about your rival's preparations. I was confused at first until it became clear that they were asking about something in tribal territory. You don't need a permit to prospect out there. After some more questioning, you have a good sense of Thorn's direction and the location of the mine. You don't have the Wayfarer trait. Before you head out, you ask for directions from a local member of the tribe that owns the territory where you think the mine could be. They are wary of more meddling from outside and also concerned for your safety given the recent trouble with prospectors on their land. You explain you aren't interested in gold and are researching the strange case of Mr. Landry. For good measure, you show them the prospector's journal and the strange etching inside. This seems to buy you some trust, and the tribe members offer some directions. Be careful crossing the rivers this time of year, they tell you. It's easy to lose your way and even easier to fall through the ice. You'll catch your death out there if you aren't careful. Oh, all right, okay. Finally, we're going into some setup. Right. Okay. Fine, fine, fine. Right, okay, we're not going to read that too much. We're going to get across to the table and we'll be setting up. See you across there. Right, here we are at the table. So we've got a few little setup bits to do. So I'll take them through one by one. Got our three Alaskan wildernesses, which we're going to shuffle up or do this. We've got to put these into play randomly. One there, and one there. They're all linked to Fairbanks. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. And that's going to go there. Right, so William is going to start with 8 health, but 5 sanity because he's got the whistle that's causing him all sorts of problems. We start with our Eye of Ravens, which we've got there. We're good. William is actually going to start off. Actually, sorry, starts off with 3 Doom on the agenda. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Concentrate on William first of all. So, let's say 8 health, 5 sanity. Got his resources, and he's got his Eye of Ravens. He's starting off Anchorage. Again, I'll come back to that. We've got to put an additional cultist into the chaos bag, which we've done. We have also got Foundation Intel, which we've got to put into our deck. And it's a weakness, and it says Foundation Intel cannot leave your hand. So once you get hold of this, it's going to reduce your hand size, which is a bit of a pain. And then we've got what we spent our XP on. Now, I had 5 XP to spend, and I have gone all in. I've gone all in on a shiny, and I've gone in on the Time Worn Band, which is 5 XP. So there we go. That's quite expensive. It is an item, relic, weapon, melee. For an action, I can fight with it to get +2 fight and deal +1 damage. But this is one of the reasons why I bought it. For an action, I can exhaust it, and then I can fight with adding my will to my fight, which would take me to fight 7, and it does +3 damage. And if I delete an elite enemy, if I defeat an elite enemy with it, I draw 3 cards. So I've gone all in on the Time Worn Band. So both of those need to go into the deck. And we will give these a fairly decent shuffle. I have shuffled a proper good shuffle off the screen, but as I put those 2 cards in, we're going to give them a good shuffle. And we'll do a cat weasel cut. So that's our deck ready to go. Also, we have to put one of these into the deck, the encounter deck, because we haven't seen the last of them. So we've got the red gloved man and the beast in the cowl crimson. So, oh, that's a bit annoying. Ah, I can't tell which one. I was hopefully not going to be able to tell which one's which, but beast in the cowl crimson comes in with two sides on it. So let's roll a dice. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. 2 is going to be the red glove man. So beast in a cowl crimson can come out of play. We will put red glove man into the encounter deck. Again, I have shuffled these off camera. Give them a good old shuffle. Without dropping any, hopefully. There we go. Do a cat weasel cut. There we go. There's our encounter deck ready to go. Right. I think we're nearly ready to start. So let's have a look at the agenda. Agenda 1A. As I've said, because of where I'm at in the campaign, this comes in with three Doom on it already, and it's this one. Agenda 1A has got 7 on it, so we've only got 4 to play with. Lost and Forgotten. Prospector's journal described a horrifying predator. Some call the thing stalking the woods a beast, some call it a spirit, and others know it as a shapeshifter. Describing the thing seems to fill each witness with a primal, unspeakable terror. 7 on that, the agenda. And then we've got Act 1A, Quest for the Sable Glass. Thorn may have a head start in their search for the sable glass, but you have something they don't. Brett Landry's journal. If you can reach the prospector's gold mine before the coterie, you may be able to keep the key out of their hands. Objective. Only investigators at the condemned gold mine may spend the requisite numbers of clues as a group to advance. 3 clues needed. We're playing single player. So we need to try and find the condemned old gold mine. I think we are ready to start. Yeah, I think we are. Right, okay. Draw our 5 cards. Opening hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think what I'd like to do before I turn those over, I'm going to sort of think I'm going to be hard mulliganing for a time worn band. Hopefully. Machete will do the trick if not, but let's see what we've got. We have got a resourceful, possibly not. A jury rig, possibly not. A cherished keepsake, possibly not. A leather coat, possibly not. And a scene of the crime will get us that clue. It's only a shroud of 2, but we are only intellect of 2. So I think I'm going to keep scene of the crime, and I'm going to get 4 more. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. No weapons there at all, which is a bit disappointing. So we have got. Look what I found. Cherished cheapskate, time worn band. That is the boy. And we've got a resourceful. So okay, all right, that's not too bad. So he's back in. Then shuffle it up. I mean, William's going to be blowing all of his resources, but there we go. Okay. First action. Oh, costs 2. Time worn band is 5. I've only got 5. But if I want to play scene of the crime, now is the point I have to play it. I would be 2 versus 2. Okay. First action. Scene of the crime for 2. Discover a clue at your location. 2 clues if there's an enemy. Well, there's no enemy, but we do get a clue. So 1 clue. Oh, we do have 1 experience as well from when we were going through the journal, because there were already 4 tablet tokens in here, so we gained an XP. Second action is going to be cherished keepsake. Give me 2 extra sanity. And third action is going to be to gain a resource. So we should have 5 at the start of our next turn. A little bit of a setup. Sorry, we were on the investigation phase. We now move to the enemy phase. Clearly, no enemies in place, so we skip that. We go to our upkeep phase. We get our actions back. We ready any cards. And we draw a card and we get a resource. We've got a machete. Got a machete. Handy. Very handy for a fight. Okay. We go across to the mythos phase and then we put a doom on the agenda. So we're now at 4 of 7. I'm going to go quick. And we get our encounter card, which is Splintered Space. Revelation. Attach splintered space to your location and test agility 3. If you fail, take 1 damage for each hex treachery attached to your location. Well, we are agility 3, so it's 3 versus 3. Four versus 3 with resourceful. Do I want to chuck a resourceful away? I'm going to take 1 damage. No, let's just go. I'm not going to waste resourceful. I'm going to go 3 versus 3. 3 versus 3. Has the chaos bag today. -2. So we take 1 damage. 1 damage for each treachery hex location. Each hex treachery. So we're down to 7. My turn. So first things first, we're going to pay 5. Five resources to play Time Worn Band. That was our first action. Second action is going to move up to Fairbanks. Fairbanks, no clues on it. 2 shrouds. As a reaction, when an investigator at Fairbanks draws a hazard treachery, spend 2 resources to cancel that treachery's effects and discard it. Well, okay, I've got no resources, but I've got clues. Main thing. Third action. Third action. We're going to move. Let's see how the dice gods are today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah, that's a 6. So William's going to move up to this. And it is Frozen Lake. 3 shroud. Comes in with 2 clues on it. Forced. After an investigator at this location reveals a symbol during a skill test they're performing, they must either choose and discard 1 card from their hand or take 1 horror. Okay. Fair enough. And that was my third action. Boom, move, move. Third action. Enemy phase. Oops. Enemy phase. There are no enemies in play, so we move across to upkeep. We get our actions back. Get a resource. We draw a card. Got a leather coat. Got a leather coat. Very nice. Okay. We move across to the mythos phase. We put 1 doom on. We're at 5 of 7. We need to go back to Fairbanks. We do. That's a pain. It's going to take us 2 to get back. None of these are linked. So we've got to go back to Fairbanks. Okay. Put the demon, we'll draw our encounter card. Coterie Agent B, concealed 2. We've got a decoy card, we've got a decoy card, Coterie Agent B. So that's going to go into the shadows. So we'll put that over there. After the agent enters the shadows, place 1 doom on it. So we're now at doom of 6, which is a pain. When it's exposed, we just discard it. Really difficult to shuffle these 3 little cards. Right, so we'll put 1 there, put 1 at Fairbanks, and then we'll 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Put 1 there. Okay, we move on to the investigation phase. We need 3 clues, but nothing that's going to be blue. 3 versus 2. So first action. We're going to attempt to investigate. We're not investigating the concealed card. We're investigating to get clues. So we're 3 versus 2. 3 versus 2. -3. So we foul by a lot. That's a pain. 3 versus 2. I'm at -1. We foul by 4. So I can't play. Look what I found. It's annoying. Oops. Second. We're going to try again. We are going to try again. Our second action. Gain a resource. Third action. Investigate. 3 versus 2. -2. We still fail by 3. I can't do. Look what I found. I played a resourceful. I should have played a resourceful. That was a misplay. That was a bad misplay from MB there. Okay, that is what it is. Okay, we go on to the enemy phase. They're running about in the shadows and concealed. There's nothing that the coterie agent does there. So we move on to the upkeep phase. We get our actions back. We get a resource. Draw a card. Got a flashlight. That's handy. That's very handy. Okay, we go across to the mythos phase. We put a doom on. We are now at 7. So, I'll read this. The frigid landscape fills you with a kind of numbness. At first, you dismiss the feeling as purely physical, a side effect of the cold. It's only when you stop and consider the feeling itself that it dawns on you. The numbness is is a result of some strange influence. You're forgetting small moments. memories of the surrounding area. It's as though your mind itself is being hunted and fed upon. Each investigator chooses an ally or item asset in their hand or play area and sets it outside of play as a hollow. Well, I've got cherished keepsake and I've got a time worn band as an asset. I've got a machete and I've got a leather coat. I think I'm going to put the machete as a hollow. Put it there. That's an asset. We're going to go to agenda 2A. As you explore the region, you cannot shake the feeling that you are being watched. It's as though 1,000 eyes are staring directly at you. Perhaps you should have thought this through, or perhaps through you. The surrounding forest is filled with a deafening silence. Six on there. Got to try and get that coterie agent because that is causing us to still be one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down to 1. So we need to get that. We need to get the clues. Okay, we're going to draw our encounter card. We are going to get Beyond the Pale. Attach Beyond the Pale to your location and test agility 3. Oh, God. Oh, that should have stayed there. Sorry, that's attached. Attach Beyond the Pale. Intellect 3. Intellect 3. No, I've got no things there that help, so it's a straight 3 versus 3. 3 versus 3, -1, we still fail. Take a damage. There. Okay, we go to the investigation phase. Well, first of all, first action, play 2. Play a flashlight. Comes in with 3 on it, but I'm going to immediately spend 1 to lower the location of the shroud to 1. Second action, I'm going to investigate it. So it's 1 versus 2, 0. So we pass. 1 versus 1 versus 2. We get a clue. I'd like to have failed that actually. And that was the investigate. Done. And then I'm going to spend another resource and an action to investigate it again. 1 versus 2. 1 versus 2. And we've got -1, means we win. 1-1. So we've now got our 3 clues. It's good, but we're wasting, feels like we're wasting actions. Feels like we're wasting actions. We can get the coterie agent next turn, that would be good. Okay. That's us done for the investigation phase. We go to the enemy phase. We're just milling around in the shadows. No other enemies. I didn't draw any symbols for the frozen lake, so I don't have to discard anything, which is good. We're going to go to the upkeep phase. We're going to get our actions back. We're going to gain a resource. We're going to draw a card. We've got bury them deep. Bury them deep. William Yorick's signature. Fast. Play after a non-elite enemy at your location is defeated. Add that enemy and this card to the victory display. Gives us a victory point. Okay, we're going to go to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on. So we're now at 2 of 6. I'm going to draw our encounter card. We're going to get substance simulation. Revelation. For each set aside hollow you own, if there are one or more copies of that hollow in your play area and or hand, discard those copies and take 1 damage and 1 horror. If no cards are discarded by this effect, choose a non-weakness card you control in your hand or play area and set it aside as out of play as a hollow. Well, the thing that's in the hollow is a machete. We clearly haven't got a machete in play, so we need to put something back into the card you control. I'm going to put a resourceful, the hollow. That's that. We go to the investigation phase. Well, first things first, I'm going to action to investigate it, but I'm going to investigate by this concealed card here. So it's 1 versus 2. 1 versus 2. 0. We reveal it. It is the coterie agent. It is the coterie agent. So these concealed cards go. They're the decoys. That is going to go. And coterie agent says, when it's exposed, you discard it. So that goes. We drop the doom, which is important. So we're down to 1 doom now. That was our first action. Our first action. Second action is to move back to Fairbanks. I think my third action, I'm not going to move in just yet. I'm going to use an action, pay 0, put my leather coat on. Gives us 2 health. Also useful if William starts defeating. These can go and get him back and all sorts of stuff, which is really good. Okay, that felt like a fairly decent turn. We move across to the enemy phase. See no enemies in play now, so we can skip that. We can go to the upkeep phase. We get our actions back. We get a resource. Get a resource. And we draw a card. Ah, there we go. I knew it was going to cut this game. We've got the foundation intel, so we can't get rid of this. I mean, we're miles away from 8 cards, so it's not the worst, that one, but nothing decent. And we've still got to look what I found and bury them deep in our hand. Actually, flashlight has gone now. That stays there actually until I replace it, so I'll leave it there. Okay, we've got a resource. We've drawn our card. We're going to go across the mythos phase. We're going to put doom on. Now it's straight 2, 6. Get our encounter card. We get matter inversion attached to an outsider enemy without a copper of matter of inversion attached. If you cannot, matter inversion gains surge. Well, no enemies in play to attach it to. There's no outsider enemies, so that's going to get surge. We've got we've got the red glove man. We've got the red glove man. Okay. He comes in, engages us, fight of 5, 2 health, and 5 evade. Concealed 1, retaliate. Ah, that's a pain. That's a pain. There's his decoy card. And let's look for red glove man. Should be in here. Oh, what did I do with it? Apologies. Let's have a look. This. Oh, shuffling 2 cards is I'm going to try and look away and not really do a bit of talking while I'm not really thinking about it. Right, 1 can go there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Go there. Okay. Right. We move across to the investigation phase. Got a bit of glare going on there. Sorry. Yeah, a little bit better. Right. What have we got? Well, we need to investigate that concealed card room. See if we can get 4 versus 2. Okay, 4 versus 2. 4 versus 2 is the best I'm going to be able to get, I think. So, first action, we're going to investigate the concealed card. I'm at 2. I'm going to play look what I found for an additional 2. So, I'm at 4. 4 versus 2. Four versus 2. -2 or better. +1. We get the concealed card. And it is the red gloved man. Excellent. Decoy goes. He engages us. That was our first action. Second action. I'm going to exhaust the time worn band to fight. Fight of 5. I'm at 7. 5 versus 7. I really want to make sure this hits. I'm not too fussed about the. Am I fussed about the victory? Or do I play bury them deep? 5 versus 7. No, I'm going to play bury them deep, which has got a wild and a fight. So I'm now 5 versus 9. 5 versus 9. 5 versus 9. That is -2, -5 if the void chimera is at your location, which it isn't. So we do pass. We would have passed anyway, but I'm not trying to be greedy. So the red glove man goes. He goes into the victory display. We'll just put up there. He goes. Ooh. That was our second action. Third action, we're going to move. Third action, we're going to move, I think. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. 4. So we're going to go up to the one in the middle. And that is the mountain stream. 1 clue, shroud of 1. Shroud of one. Forced. After you enter mountain stream, test book or agility one. If you fail, take one damage. Well, let's go agility. 3 versus 1. 3 versus 1. The skull is -X where the hazard's in play. Hazard treacheries. That's a hex. That's a hex. No hazard treacheries in play. That's -0. So we pass. And it's forced. After the last clue is discovered from mountain stream, put 3 set aside outer wilderness locations into play adjacent to it. Oh, okay. So we've got to try and do that. Okay. Let me pause for a second. Let me pause because I think I'm going to have a rejug of the way the map's up. Okay. Well, a bit of a rejig. So we're going this way now rather than up. More sense. And that was my third action. So go to the enemy phase. There are no enemies in play. Skip that. We go to the upkeep phase. We're going to get a resource. We're going to draw a card. Got to look what I found. Foundation Intel. Okay. We reset our actions. Time Worn Band comes back into play. Got to find the condemned gold mine. Now, I've got to say, it's going to be in the outer wilderness, isn't it? I would have thought. Or is it going to be there? Anyway, not worry about that too much now. Let's go across to the mythos phase. We're going to put Doom on. We are now 3 of 6. These are short dooms. We're going to draw our encounter card. We get figures in the dark, peril, revelation. If there are no enemies in the shadows, which there are not, it's going search. No enemies in the shadows. We're going to surge it. We're going to get a paradigm effacer. Monster outsider. 3 fight, 3 health, 3 agility. Aloof, hunter. Forced. After you end your turn at paradigm effacer's location, look at the top card of your deck. If it's not a weakness, set it aside out of play as a hollow. Then if you own 3 or more set aside hollows, paradigm effacer attacks you. So it's aloof, so it's going to come in at the mountain stream. It's going to move wherever we go or follow us. So we go across to the investigation phase. Do I go up to the Alaskan wilderness, the final one? Look what I found. I think I am. Otherwise, it's just going to bug me. But then I've got to go back to the. Whilst I'm here, Shroud of one. Got to try and get the clue, haven't I? Got to try and get the clue. There's no point going back there, and then because we've got to be here to set this out. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to do that. We're going to investigate. I'm at 2. It's a 2 versus 1. Two versus 1, and we have got to look what I found. But we could play the look what I found to make it a 4 versus 1. I only need 1 clue. I don't need 2. I've got my 3. Yeah, let's not be greedy. So I'm going to play a look what I found to take me to 4 versus 1. 4 versus 1, investigating for my first act. 4 versus 1, -1. We get the clue. We're at 4 clues now. Excellent. 4 clues. And after we discover that, we put the 3 set aside willnesses out into play. And they're all connected to the mountain stream. Let's put that there. Actually, move him a second. There. That can go there. These are all connected to the mountain stream. Okay, we're all good. Need to move for my second action. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. So we're going up the top there. We're going to the top. And that's going to be Forgotten Outpost. Got 1 clue on it. Action, draw 3 cards, Shroud of 4 on it. You know what? I think I might do that. Once per game. Third action, draw 3 cards. We've got, of course, Graveyard Ghouls comes into play. Pain. 3 fight, 3 health, 2 to evade. Humanoid monster ghoul. Prey, William Yorick only. Hunter. While Graveyard Ghouls is engaged with you, cards cannot leave your discard pile. That's my first card. My second card is a Live and Learn. And my third card is a Scene of the Crime. Okay, well that was a bit silly. Well, not silly, but a bit of pain. Okay, that's it for our investigation phase. We go across to the enemy phase. We're going to take 1 and 1 from the Graveyard Ghouls, which is going to go on to Treacherous Keepsake, and 1 onto Leather Coat. Too bad. No other. Oh, Paradigm Facer is going to come into Forgotten Outpost. But we haven't ended our turn there, so that's good. Then we're going to go across to the upkeep phase. We're going to ready our actions. We're going to gain a resource. We're going to draw a card. Got a jury rig. Very nice. Time worn band. Yes, baby. And we are going to then go across to the Mythos phase. We're going to put a Doom on. We are now 4 of 6. Running out of time here, MB. We're running out of time. We're going to draw our encounter card, which is a Splintered Space. X. Attach Splintered Space to your location and test agility 3. I'm agility 3, so it's 3 versus 3. No, we're going to just do that. 3 versus 3. Cultist, which is -4. If you fail, choose a non-weakness card in your hand and set it aside out of play as a hollow. Okay, so first of all, we are going to take 1 damage, which I'm going to put on the leather coat. Means the leather coat goes. Entered space is going to go up there. Paradigm Effacer is there. And also, we're going to choose a non-weakness card in your hand and set it aside out of play. I think I'm going to put Scene of the Crime. Non-weakness. So that's a hollow. Okay. We're going to go to the investigation phase. Can't put our jury rig on because we'll take a opportunity. But we are going to fight with our time-worn band. We're going to exhaust it as an action. We're hitting the graveyard ghouls. So we're now at 7 versus 3. Seven versus 3. 7 versus 3. -1. Plus 3 damage. It's not an elite enemy. So that goes. After I defeat an enemy, play an asset from your discard pile, paying its cost. I'll pay 0. Play leather coat. So we've used William's ability. That was our first action. Second action, just for giggles, we're going to put the jury rig onto the time-worn band. Comes in with 3 durability on it. Setting ourselves up. We are setting ourselves up. Third action, we're going to have to move back to the mountain stream. Moving back to the mountain stream, and we're testing book or agility 1. Book or agility 1. Agility is 3, so 3 versus 1. 3 versus 1. -2. So we pass. Don't take our damage. Okay. That's our turn done. We move to the enemy phase. Paradigm Facer is going to move down with us into the mountain stream. That is it for the enemy phase. We're going to go to the upkeep phase. We're going to ready all of our assets, ready our actions. Time-worn band comes back onto play. We're going to gain a resource. We're going to draw a card. We've got our pocket multi-tool. We have got our pocket multi-tool, which is very good. Very good. We are going to go across to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom onto the agenda. We're now 5 of 6. Not looking good. Can't find the bloody condemned mine. We're going to draw our encounter card. Cracking ice. Put cracking ice into play next to the agenda deck. Then if there are 3 or more copies of cracking ice next to the agenda deck, discard them, and all and each investigator at a wilderness location tests agility 4. Each investigator who fails must take 1 damage, take 1 horror, or lose 1 action for each point they fail by. Ooh. Okay, let's put that there. So that's that. Not too bad. Could have been worse. We're going to move on to the investigation phase. I'm gonna first action. I'm gonna pay 3. Play a pocket multi-tool. 3 of our resources. We'll put that there so we know we've got that to react to. Second action, we're going to move to one of the outer wildernesses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4. So we're going to come down to there. We're going to flip. Hunter's Lodge. Not finding this condemned. Comes in with 1 clue on it. Forced, when you reveal Hunter's Lodge, test will or intellect 3 to talk the hunter down. If you fail, take 1 damage. When a monster enters this location, deal 1 damage to it. It's got a victory point of 1 on it. Okay, so we're going to test will of 3. Okay, so 3 versus 3. Auto fail. Auto fail. Doesn't matter. Take 1 damage. That goes on to leather coat. Victory point of 1 though. 4 versus 4. I'd like to get the victory point if at all possible. Let's go for it. 4 versus 4. We get +1 here for investigating. And because I've chosen magnifying lens on it, I get +1 skill value. So that's 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 versus 4. -2. If I fail, and then I'll play live and learn. Fast. Play after a skill test you failed ends after resolving all the effects. Attempt the test again at a +2 skill value. So we're now at 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. Come on. 6 versus 4. -2. We get it. We get the clue. So now 5 clues. And we also get the victory point. But that is our turn. That is our turn. We go to the enemy phase. Paradigm of the Facer. Going to come down into the Hunter's Lodge. When he enters it, he's going to take a damage. So it's down to 2 damage. He's down to 2. I count down. I don't think there's any real difference. No other enemies in play. So we move to the upkeep phase. We're going to ready everything up. We're going to gain a resource. We're going to draw a card. We've got resourceful. Very handy. Got some nice cards in there. Those on top. We've also got, don't need to forget, we've got our Eye of Ravens. We haven't really needed it yet. Okay, we're going to go across to the Mythos phase. We're going to put a Doom on. We are now 6. We are at 6. Oh dear. So, during your exploration, you stop and look at the majestic vista of a nearby mountain range. One of the mountains appears strangely damaged, as though a great fist has punched a hole in the mountainside. Although it is covered in a layer of snow, There is something ominous about the deep, empty pit gouged into the side of the rock. You wonder what horrible thing burst out of the heart of the mountain. As you stare at the impossible destruction around you, a faint buzzing in the back of your mind sets you on edge. You have a creeping feeling that you've forgotten something or someone. Each investigator chooses an ally or item asset in their hand or play area and sets it aside out of play as an hollow. Item or asset. That's a pain. I'm going to choose the leather coat. I am going to choose the leather coat to go into a hollow. We're now at agenda 3A, 5 doom on it. The landscape around you is being actively devoured, stolen from existence and memory. A feeling of numbness spreads through you as you stare at the fading wilderness. An uncanny sense that you're losing your grip on reality nags at the end of your mind. So those all go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down to 0. I feel like we're running out of time here. Okay. We draw our encounter card. Obscuring fog. Attach your location. Gets +2 shroud. Happy with that. Already done it. Already done it. So that makes no difference. We go across the investigation phase. We're going to move. So we're going to move back into the mountain stream where we're going to have to test agility 1 or agility or book. We're going to do agility 3 versus 1. 3 versus 1, -1. We pass. We're good. Then we're moving back to the outer wilderness here. What have we got? Finally, we moved and moved. Finally, the condemned mine. 0 clues, next 6 shroud. Action, reveal 1 random chaos token from the chaos bag plus 1 additional token for each depletion token on condemned mine. If you did not reveal any symbol in this way, gain 4 resources and place 1 resource from the token pool on condemned mine as a depletion token. Right, okay, don't need to do that. But what we are going to do is we are going to spend our 3 clues. 1, 2, 3. 3 clues, taking us down to 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to advance the act, finally. It is agenda 3. As you approach the condemned mine, you see from the broken barricades and tracks in the snow that Thorn and the coterie have already arrived. Before you can backtrack, 2 guards emerge from the shadows, brandishing shotguns. Don't move, one of them says. In either case, read Scenario Interlude Raw Deal in the campaign guide. Right, I'm going to pause there and let's get across to the campaign. Okay, let's move across to the campaign log. So we're going to read the Scenario Interlude Raw Deal for agenda 3, I believe. Yep, agenda 3. Continue. Oh, goodness gracious, Thorn says, emerging from the mine. Put that down at once, you oaf. This is no way to treat guests. They snap at the guards, who lower their weapons. You're too late, I'm afraid. or rather just in time, I suppose, depending on your perspective. Thorn brandishes an obsidian lens in one hand as they smirk. Remembering the Foundation dossier, you ask Thorn if there's anything you can do to negotiate for the key. They shake their head. I'm afraid not, kitten. A key in a hand is worth, well, fortunes. Not that I would sell it for anything in the world. They clutch the sable glass in one hand as a chill wind blows. However, there's still time to make a deal. If you weren't completely daft, you'll have noticed this entire area is in grave danger. Something truly terrible stalks these woods, the ultimate predator. In fact, it already knows we're here. Thorn looks at you. The way I see it, you can pout about not getting your prize, or you can help me track the quarry. Or track my quarry. Do that, and I'll owe you a favour to be paid at a later date. Do we have a deal? The investigators must decide. We'll work with you for now. We can't let the key fall into the coteries' hands. I think William would like to take the prey out to just make the area safe. Feels like that would be more important to him. So we're going to work with him. That could end in. It's going to owe us a favour. So that might be good. Do that. Brilliant. We should have a pot. We'll have to pop some champagne when this is all over and done. Thorn snaps their finger, calling their cohorts to attention. I believe we have work to do. In your campaign log, record that the cell made a deal with Thorn. Remove that an elder sign token and add a stone token. If there are four already, each investigator earns one experience instead. Okay, so we're going to get one experience. Put the Thorn story asset into play under the lead investigator's control and attach the sable glass to Thorn, stable side faced up. Search the encounter deck and discard pile in all play areas for all cards from the Crimson Conspiracy encounter set and remove them from the game. This set is indicated by the following icon. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we've set up Thorn as our ally. He's got 2 health, 2 sanity, and he's got a reaction. After an investigator at your location sets aside a hollow, exhaust Thorn, that investigator may take an immediate action as if it's their turn. He's got the sable glass with him. So, where are we? We're on 2A. Thorn said they were trying to track the predator in these woods. Although the beast leaves no trace, you can surely scout the surrounding areas before luring it out. Action. If your location has the wilderness trait, investigators at your location spend 1 clue as a group. Place 1 resource on your location as a scouting report. Limit 1 scouting report per wilderness location. Objective. You may advance at the end of any round. Hint. You will lure out the predator when you advance. Advance when you believe you are prepared. Okay. We've got 5 doom to play with. We've got 5 clues. We've got 2 clues. We've got 1 action left. Condemned mine is not a wilderness location. So last action, I think, is going to go back to the mountain stream. Got an outpost. Where's that? Linked to Half Moon. There's no Half Moon. Okay. So last action is going to be to move William back to the wilderness wilderness location, and after we enter the mountain stream, we've got a test. Oh, yeah, 70. Agility 3, I think we'll go for. Otherwise, we're going to have to take a damage. Agility 3 against 1. Cultist -4. -4. So we are going to take 1 damage. So we're down to 5. 5 health. Down to that. 5. The cultist is, if you fail, choose a non-weakness card in your hand and set it aside as a hollow out of play. In my hand, I've only got resourceful and foundation intel, which is a weakness. So, unfortunately, resourcefulness is going to go across as a hollow. Okay. That's it for the investigation phase. We're going to move to the enemy phase. Paradigm Facer is going to hop over to the mountain stream. Doesn't do anything because it's aloof. We weren't in its space at the end of our turn. Is the end of our turn? Yeah. Okay. No other enemies in play. We're going to go across to the upkeep phase. We're going to get our actions back. We are going to gain a resource. We're going to draw a card. Got a runic axe, which is a fight symbol, which is good. Time worn band has pretty much replaced that now. We're going to cross to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on one of 5. 1 of 5. We're going to draw our encounter card. Treachery. Beyond the Pale. Hex. Attach Beyond the Pale to your location and test Will 3. Will of 3. I'm 3. Move these over a little bit. See them. Yeah, you can still see them. I'm just making sure you can still see them on the camera. There, that's there, that's there. X. Oh, so much going on here at the minute. Right, just move those out of the way for a second. Put Beyond the Pale there. X. Need to make sure I can keep an eye on these. And Will 3. Will 3 against 3. -2. We fail. And take 1 horror for each treachery attached to your location. That's going to go on cherished keepsake. Never say that. So that's gone. We then move across from the mythos phase to the investigator. William back mountain stream with the paradigm facer. Right, mountain stream is a wilderness, so I'm going to spend an action, spend a clue, put a resource onto that. That's shining. I can see it in the not so glary. 2 actions left. think second action. I'm going to move up to dot an outpost. And third action, I'm going to use this clue. Another resource to scout the dot an outpost. Hopefully get the clue next turn. That's two scouted. That's it for the investigation phase. We're going to move to the enemy phase, paradigm of facer. I'll pop over here. Follow me. Really want to kill that. Waste actions. That's it for the enemy phase. I'm going to go to the upkeep phase. I'm going to get my actions back. I'm going to gain a resource. I'm going to draw a card. We've got a machete, so we've got our fight symbols, which is really good. I think we'll probably need those in a bit. Then we're going to go across to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on 2 of 5. We've not got a lot of time. We have not got a lot of time. I think I've got time to get one more resource out. So 2 of 5, and then we're going to draw our encounter card, which is a Beyond the Pale. Okay, Beyond the Pale. Attach Beyond the Pale to your location. Test wheel 3. 3. If we fail, we take 1 horror for each hex trait. That's going to be 2 horror. I've got nothing I can do. I could exhaust this. No, saving it. So 3 against 3, and we've got -2. We fail. We're going to take 2 horror. I'm going to put 1 onto Dawn, and I'll take 1 myself. Down to 4. That's it for the mythos phase. I'm going to go to the investigation phase. I need to get that clue. First action. First action, I'm going to investigate at an outpost. I'm going to flip the Eye of the Ravens to have a base of 6. I'm then going to pay my pocket multi-tool to give me +2. So it's 8 versus 4. No? Yeah, 8 versus 4 because I'm at base 6 +2. 8 versus 4. 8 versus 4 -1. You get the clue. Get the clue. I don't know if you can hear it outside, but it's really raining. Oops, we're down to 1. May as well. That was my first action. Second action. Going to move back to the mountain stream. Testing agility. 3 versus 3. -2. We fail, so we're going to take a damage. We're down to 4. Third action, set myself up. Hopefully, next turn, I'm going to move into the hunter's paradigm of face. That's my investigation phase done. I've got another clue, 3 clues. I'm going to move to the enemy phase. Paradigm of Facer is going to move back to the mountain stream. No other enemies in play. Oh, that should be attached to outpost. 2 hexes on that now. That's it. We move to the upkeep phase. We're going to get our actions back. A ready multi-tool. We're going to gain a resource. Swimming in resources now. We're going to draw our card. Mob Enforcer. Comes in engaged with William. That's it. We're going to go across to the Mythos phase. We're going to put Doom on. We're at 3 of 5. Not looking good. We're going to draw our encounter card. Crit Chill. Crit Chill. Test Will of 4. Well, I'm a Will of 3. So 3 versus 4. -4. And -4. Sorry, just had to pause there to double check to make sure I was correct. So Crit Chill says, if you fail, choose and discard 1 asset you control. If you cannot, take 2 damage instead. Cards in your hand are effectively not, simplistically, in your hand, they're not in your control. So it has, with Crit Chill, it has to be an asset in play, which is annoying because I have only got 2 assets, which is the Time Worn Band and the Pocket Multi-Tool. So unfortunately, Pocket Multi-Tool is being discarded. And also, because I drew the Cultist, I got to put a non-weakness card from my hand out of play as an asset. So I'll put the Runic Axe. This is my pile of hollows. Let's put those there. And that's it for the Mythos phase. We go to the Investigator phase. First action, going to pay 4. Parlay with the Mob Enforcer to kill it. Or to not kill it, but to ask him to move on very nicely. Don't know what Mob Enforcers are doing out in the wilderness. Second action, going to spend my clue. Put a resource or a scouting onto the Hunter's Lodge. So I've got 3 resources, 3 areas scouted. Can't now go back to the paradigm facer. It will attack me because I've definitely got 3 or more hollows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to draw a card for my last action. Draw a card for my last action. Bandolier, which is a fight icon, which is good. Okay. Enemy phase. The paradigm facer is going to come over to here. Didn't end my turn at its location, so I don't need to do anything else. No other enemies in play. I'm going to move to the upkeep phase. I'm going to ready up. I'm going to draw a resource. We're going to draw a card. Pocket multi-tool. Timing. Very good timing. Now, at the end of the upkeep phase, it's the end of the round. So I'm going to activate if it bleeds. So it says, you may advance at the end of any round, which is now the end of the round. So let's advance it. After making what preparations you can, you wait around a campfire. Your very presence in this territory makes you a prime lure for whatever awful predator stalks these woods. Soon enough, you hear a twig snap and see a multitude of glowing eyes watching you from the trees. Spawn the void chimera in the shadows and resolve its true form, void chimera true form in the shadows, resolving its concealed keyword, distributing each of those concealed mini cards as evenly as possible among each wilderness location in play. For each location with a scouting report on it, you may look at the revealed side of the concealed mini card just placed at the location. Okay, right. So we've got the Void Chimera. That is 4 fight, 4 health, 4 evade. Monster outside elite. Concealed 4, massive. You cannot expose any concealed mini cards while one of Void Chimera's other forms is in play. After you've exposed one of Void Chimera's decoys, find the set-aside version of the Void Chimera with the matching subtitle and spawn at your location. Right, so this has got its own step. So we've got... Second, we'll come back to that. We've got our Void Chimera. And it's got its 4 decoys. We are gonna all this up. I'm going to look at the camera while I'm doing it. Don't really try and shuffle. God. Try and shuffle. I'm not looking. Okay. Right. So this is in the shadows. Go there. Put shadows there. That's our hollows. So that's in the shadows. We've got our 4, 5 concealed cards. I've got, I'd like to say, a decent chance of. So we're going to put 1 here. 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 1 here. Okay. Each location with a scouting report, you may look at the revealed side of the concealed mini card just placed at that location. So let's have a look at the top here. What we got? We've got Void Chimera Decoy. We've got the Void Chimera Gorefester. And we've got, come on, Void Chimera Ear Splitter. So we know one of the true forms is here. We haven't got a lot of time. We have not got a lot of time. So I've got to go all the way back to Fairbanks to get into one of those two. Okay, we're going to go into the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on the agenda. That takes us to 4. 4 and 5. We are going to draw a card, an encounter card. We get figures in the dark, peril, revelation. If there are no enemies in the shadows, gains surge. Otherwise, enemy in the shadow attacks you. Each enemy in the shadow attacks you. Each investigator loses an action. I've got to decide. Well, clearly, I am going to take the attack, which is 1 health and 1 sanity. On 1. Down to 3 on each. So that's not too bad. We move across to the investigation phase. First action. Move to the mountain stream. We test agility 3. Against 1. 3 against 1. -2. We pass. We move to Fairbanks. For our second action. We don't have to do anything when we go into Fairbanks. And then we're going to go to either the Alaskan wilderness or the frozen lake. To see if we can find the void beast. This could win us the game. This could lose us the game. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. 3. We're going to move for our final action up the Alaskan wilderness, which is going to flip the Alaskan wilderness. It's an isolated road. Comes in with 2 clues, but I don't think that really makes too much difference at this point. We've lost. I've just realised we've only got 1. We've only got. The doom is going to flip. Doom is going to flip. But there's nothing I can do about that. I was over there, 1 to there, 2 to there, and then 3. I only had 3 actions left. We're out of time. Had our decoy been one of these, we could have been this one. Would have been quids in. Would have been quids in. Anyway, let's play it out. We're going to go to the enemy phase. Paradigm of Facer is going to move down to here. And that's it, the enemy phase. We are then going to move to the upkeep phase. We'll get our resource, we'll get our card, which is a jury rig, get our actions. And then we go across to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on. So it's 5 of 5. Let's have a little look to see what it says. Suddenly, a horde of blurred figures coalesce around you. An obscene numbness overtakes your senses as sight blurs and sense splinters. The numbness gives way to bliss as you slip under whatever awful influence has been changing this place. You struggle to hold on to reality, but your awareness drifts to unconsciousness. You are dragged deep into a forgetful slumber. Remove each hollow from the game. Gather each hollow that was removed from the game throughout this scenario. Each investigator finds their hollow with the highest experience and exiles it. In the campaign log, record erased from existence next to this. Record the names of each unique card exiled this way. For the rest of the campaign, players cannot include any copies of those cards by title in their decks. Immediately remove any copies from the investigator's deck. Highest experience cost. Well, they're all 0 experience. They're all 0 experience. There's no pips on any of them. So I will exhaust, I will remove resourceful as well. Will I lose anything else? So resourceful comes out of the game completely. Read resolution 4, page 35. We'll pause there. Actually, before I pause it too much, let's just do our heads in and see if we went to the right location. So did we choose the right one? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Void Chimera True Form is there. What I have to say, and believe this or not, is when I pause to read the scenario interlude, I have that at my computer desk, and obviously I was reading it from the computer. So I have a mic here that's by the side of me. So I moved the mic across to the desk to do the recording for the scenario, um, and then forgot to move it back when I came back to play the rest of the scenario. So I was happily playing the scenario with no mic. The mic was across the room. And believe it or not, I defeated the Void Chimera in that iteration of the game. Came across to start reading out all of the resolutions after winning, and realised that my mic was still over there. So I reviewed the footage to see if there was any way of salvaging it, see what the audio was like, and it wasn't great. So what I did is I came back and pulled it back to where I was before, after reading the resolution, and I've just obviously replayed it, and yeah, lost. That's the way this game goes. I took it out in turn 4. So it's basically the last turn of the game before the Doom would have flipped the last agenda. But killed it. I had 3 resources out at the same, but anyway, we've lost this one, and this is the one that counts because this is the one that's been recorded correctly with a microphone. Anyway, love me waffling. I just thought I'd share that anecdote with you. And I'll now pause and we'll get across to read the resolution. Okay, here we are. That's the resolution. Let's get scrolling down and read the resolution. Scenario ended. And we are reading resolution 4. Continue. Okay, continue. You wake up in your lodge room in Anchorage from what you think was a very bad dream. Though you struggle to remember the details as you walk around town, you can't even remember why you came here. When you relay this to the Foundation via telegram, you receive a strongly worded missive warning you against wasting official resources. You can't shake the feeling that you're missing something, though. Gather each hollow that was removed from the game throughout this scenario. Yeah, that's what we just did. So if the deck is uploaded to Arkham DB, you'll need to handle any exiling manually, remove the card and adjust experience to cover the free replacement if needed. Other decks will get an opportunity to record exiled decks like that. In your campaign log, record it erased from existence and next to the name of the unique card exiled this way. It's telling me to exile. Well, let's get rid of the runic axe then. Boom. Done. The scenario never happened. Do not mark any time in your campaign log. Do not record any experience. Do not update the keys in your campaign log. Record there is nothing of note in Anchorage. You cannot stop there again for the remainder of the campaign. That's just annoying. Save it. Come on. And then continue. We may now embark. Okay, right. We'll leave it there. Slightly frustrating scenario considering I've already won it once this afternoon, but now I've lost it. But anyway, that's the way it goes. My fault for not moving the microphone. We will move it on, and I will see you on the next episode. And let's see if William can do any better. Cheers.